most successful brand that I built has been my personal brand.
Ronne Brown.
Build your name.
I said Ronne Brown.
Yeah.
The brand is so strong. It got this man calling her brand as a last name. Be the owner of your last name. You heard it here, man. She Ronne Brown.
That's dope.
You know how strong that is?
That's a strong brand.
It's like, man, she's a brand expert now. Her name done turned from Ronne Brown to Ronne Brown.
Ronne Brown. That's what we want to call you. Yo, listen, man. Welcome to Cheat Code Unlocked. We got another dope episode for y'all today, man. We got, none other than a very, very special guest today.
DMV.
The Ronne Brown, hometown hero right here in the DC DMV area. Ronnie.
Hometown, man.
Happy
Home
to have
team.
you,
What's
man.
up? What's
Y'all,
happening?
they have had me in here laughing for the
how we
last
do.
35 minutes. We've had too much fun.
Too much fun.
Too much fun.
That wasn't for the cameras, though, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ronnie, man, first DC. It's kind of a shame because we've been traveling all over the place.
Capturing,
interviewing people left and right, you know what I'm saying? LA, Atlanta, Chicago.
We ain't got no
We ain't
DMV
even tap in
people
with
on.
nobody in the hometown, man.
Right.
So I'm glad to have you.
You're the first one in the DMV.
Man.
It's an honor.
It's an honor.
Yeah.
I
For
feel
real.
honored to be here. I feel like y'all kind of been playing with us. Like,
Yeah, right?
what's
We were
up
playing with
that?
our own home team.
How
Right.
y'all playing with the home team,
Yeah,
though?
that was
It ain't right.
completely wrong, man.
Completely
but
wrong.
no more. You know,
No
Breaking
more.
barriers now.
we back. So look, obviously, you are a dope entrepreneur. You know, you've been doing your thing for a minute. You got followers all over the place. Dope community, everything. Building an amazing brand, an amazing business, right? But obviously, it's a long journey. We entrepreneurs. We know how that journey goes.
Right.
Can
Up
you
and
give us a
downs.
little bit of background on who is Ronne Brown? You know what I'm saying? Like, what you
So Ronne Brown is a brand development expert. Really, what I will say is outside of the professional thing, I am just someone who is really passionate about helping entrepreneurs find their purpose and like monetize their purpose online. But more importantly, build a brand that is them, like from an authentic space. So a lot of entrepreneurs come to me when they're tired of faking it, when they're tired of tone switching, when they're tired of pretending like they're someone that they're not online, when they're tired of copying and pasting someone else's swag, and they want to just get back to being themselves, and they want to make money being them.
Yeah,
Man,
that
that's
was dope.
massive.
That was a hell of a
that's
hey,
massive. I was like, damn.
That's what we doing over here.
That's a lot of people. A lot of people struggle with like being themselves online because your brand versus who you are online sometimes don't match. Sometimes people are trying to build companies that's not exactly who they are.
For
and
sure.
It's like there's a battle of, okay, do I want to be myself through and through? Am I going to lose customers? I've already built such a large platform with these customers that are really my company's vision, but who am I in that personal brand aspect thing? So, I mean, that's dope, man. We definitely got to dive deep in that because I know people will get value out of that.
Yeah, and I believe that when you brand yourself, you don't
Right.
lose customers.
Oh,
like
wow.
you are losing people that are not your customer. I think that the best thing that we can do is be ourselves, because when we are 100% ourselves,
Right.
we attract people who resonate with us. Like if you follow me online, it's like I build businesses, I help people make money,
Right.
but I'm still being myself. And myself
That's
is
dope.
I like to joke, like I love to talk a little.
Cracking
Can
up,
we
you know what
curse?
I'm saying? Nah, you can definitely curse.
Okay,
on
I
your-
like to talk a little
your
shit.
Yeah.
But I don't want to like be someone I'm not,
Right.
Yeah.
But it's really important that you still live life.
Enjoy it, right?
And I love hip hop. Like I love music. I love to dance. I love to hang out. I love to do life.
Right.
And my success or my status in my business is not going to ever stop me from doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's really dope too, especially for entrepreneurs that look like us, right? Like, we are kind of coming into a space where, we years ago, 4, 5, 6, 8 years ago, whatever it may be, there's this thought process of what an entrepreneur look like, what a business person, quote unquote, look like, what an investor, quote unquote, look like. And it's like,
different.
it's so much more critical nowadays for us to be able to express ourselves and be ourselves in the space and be able to be who we are without, being judged and stuff. So I think that's actually really, really key.
And I think I just admire that now. Like I love now that when I'm showing up to meetings, people in like sweatsuits and like Yeezys and like they like looking super comfortable, and I just feel like I love that for us now.
Facts,
I love
facts.
that for us now,
It's a beautiful
100%.
thing. So now, like, all right, so you kind of getting into your business. What was your first business that you started?
My first business was I started in 2009. It was a handmade product line that I made in my house. It was named after my daughter. It was called Amore Monet, and I was making body butters, candles, scrubs, skincare products, just literally in my living room.
Yeah,
that's
I
dope,
feel like that's like a really like that's like a starting point for so many entrepreneurs, particularly female
Women,
entrepreneurs
yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
But the space is still so like
So big.
Yeah.
it's
There's
like
so much room for
There,
more.
I think that, the crazy thing is my accountant used to tell me, if you go in your house, she said, look around and see what you spend most of your money on. And she said, if you ever think about starting a business, invest in the things that you spend most of your money on. And when I got home after getting fired from my job, I looked around, and what did I have in my house? I had like 10 candles,
Right.
all these body scrubs, all this makeup, all these
like,
beauty
yo,
products.
this
I was
is
like,
it.
let's get it cracking. Like,
Let's
we
go.
going
Let's
straight
get
to
to
Google.
work.
You
That's
know?
a
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
That's
We
one
going
thing you
straight
You
to
know what's
Google.
funny? That was actually one of my businesses I started. I ain't know
Yeah.
shit about that, but I was dead broke. I lost all my money
Yeah.
trading.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, I got like $200 left. What I could do? I was like, yo, businesses to start, and did shea butter.
Shea
my
butter.
first
Exactly.
joint, yeah.
Listen, I tell people all the time, we start businesses and we think that that is the end all be all for us.
Right.
Like, let me just let y'all know something. When you're initially starting in entrepreneurship, it's not the end all be all. When you initially start out in this game,
Right.
the goal is to figure out what the hell you don't want to do.
Yeah,
Everyone is on a mission to find out like what I'm supposed to do. So many entrepreneurs hit me up and they're like, Ronnie, I want to know my purpose. It's like your purpose is to find out what you don't like to do
Right.
and what you don't want to do. So you know that like this isn't my lane. When you're starting out, you're feeling the vibes out. Like, do I want to do this every day? What am I good at? Am I good at more administrative stuff, or am I good at more like marketing or branding, or am I more of a visionary? Like, what type of person am I? So in the beginning, you're just figuring out. I tell people all the time, focus less on your purpose. Focus more on figuring out what you want to do and what you don't enjoy doing. The purpose, you're not going to find the purpose until you start serving people. That's when we find our purpose, right? You can't really find your purpose without working for somebody or serving someone or working under someone, because we got to serve people to find out where we're good at.
That's a good point. Never think of
That's
that.
a great point.
Okay.
It's kind of using the method of like disqualifying the things that you don't want and then getting to the things that you want much faster. That's an interesting way to look at it for sure, because usually they even say when you're taking tests and things like that, you look at the answers using the method of disqualifying the answers that there's
Elimination,
no way the process of elimination, and then you end up finding the right answer without even knowing anything about the question.
And I think that's the right way.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Most
right
definitely.
way. We get into businesses. Most people get into businesses because they're hobbies,
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, I love doing this.
Right.
And the first thing they say is like, oh, I love doing this. Let me start a business. Well, just because you enjoy doing something doesn't mean that you're good doing that as a business.
Right.
And then
That's a
you
fact.
get into the business and start building it. You be like, bro, like this is
not fun.
live. This is not
Because
it.
a
ruins
lot
the
of people
hobby
don't
for you.
realize
Yeah.
when you start a
Exactly.
business, just two things that you're doing. You're doing the thing that you enjoy doing, and the thing that you may not enjoy doing, which is building a business. Like building
Right,
a
the
business
back
in
end.
and of itself is a thing. And so really being an entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur, you have to enjoy building business and the
You
whole
gotta
process
enjoy
behind
it.
it.
Gotta
Solving problems, dealing with headaches, dealing with the whole, there's always problems in entrepreneurship, no matter what you
Always.
do. And so if you're not somebody that does well under pressure, that deals with, dealing with problems and problem solving on the fly and all those types of things, like it's an uphill battle.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I'm
also
saying?
you also have to have those people skills.
100%.
One of the most challenging things that I think for, Black entrepreneurs is really understanding that we have to scale.
Yeah.
And in order to scale,
Yeah.
we can't do it by ourselves.
100%.
We have this mindset that like you can drop the fries, take the order, clean the bathroom, and grab the ketchup. Like
And it's
when
glorified.
yeah, and it's glorified.
It's the bad part. Like we were just literally talking about how like in different cultures, especially like Caucasians, like what they've mastered is being able to scale a business and sell it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna say
yeah.
Caucasian.
Hey man,
For sure.
British, English. But anyways, being able to actually scale a business and sell it. Like these guys have literally mastered the process of just taking a business, not having to deal with no headaches, finding experts in agencies. If I got to hire agency for marketing, hire agency for operations, hire an agency for customer success, build it up, get the valuation up to where it needs to be,
And sell
boom,
it.
find an exit and get up out of there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
A
saying?
lot of people don't realize entrepreneurs as a job role, right?
Yeah.
Is finding a problem, creating a solution, and exiting that thing. A lot of times, you don't have an exit strategy. You know what I'm saying? You just coming in to start a business or to do something. It's not like truly entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs build businesses to exit, right? Business owners, business managers, you know, executive CEOs. These are people who run and, you know, continue to grow and scale companies for years and years and years and years. And sometimes, if you don't think about building a business to scale or to exit, you end up finding yourself essentially
employee
working,
forever.
Yeah.
an
But
employee
that's
to your
what
own
happens,
business. Yeah.
especially, you know, with our culture, we hustle forever.
Yeah. It's
We
glorified.
hustle forever
Be a hustler,
because we
yeah.
don't really scale, because we don't want to hire and we don't want to outsource, or we can't afford to, right? We don't have the funding because we don't know how to raise capital for our
That's a
businesses,
that's a
right?
fact.
I don't think that's not. I don't think that it's because we don't want to. It's that we don't really know how to.
That's a
We don't
fact.
know how to scale. We don't know how to do those raises. We don't even know how
That's
to get
true.
the
Sometimes you
valuation.
don't even know what you don't know. Some people don't even know that world even exists. Like,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying?
Even with us right here, you know, we've been in you know, we have a lot of projects on the table. We don't even know how to. Everything we do is self-funded.
Self-funded.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like, as even at the level that we're at now, with, you know, multi-million-dollar brand, multi-million-dollar revenue, et cetera, we still don't even know how to go out and raise capital
Right.
like that. And we're surrounded by people who do it, right?
do it,
And so
yeah.
it's like, you know, it's one of those things where we have to get out of that mindset. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
For
Because
sure.
we're competing in a world, in a space where other people out there doing it and executing on the same
Right.
businesses that we're operating.
Literally turning the same type of business we have into billion-dollar companies.
Billion-dollar
Like, it's
companies,
like,
right.
there's
Yeah.
no way we shouldn't be able to
Well,
do
you
that,
know what I say? It's really not about what you know. It's about who you know.
Most
Right.
definitely.
And when we are intentional about knowing the right people, you know, I may not know investing the way you all know investing. I may not know real estate the way, you know, someone else knows real estate. But if I know people who are experts in those fields, then I'm good.
That's
Right.
a fact. That's a
Most
fact.
definitely.
All right, cool. So let me ask you this now. You built, you know, what was your most successful business brand that you built, and what was the process for building that?
I would say that the most successful brand that I built has been my personal brand.
Yeah, okay.
Wow,
Ronnie
that's-
Brand.
You-
Ronnie.
Ronnie Brown, build
There
your
you go.
name.
I said Ronnie Brand.
The brand is so strong. It got this man calling her brand as a last name. Be the owner of your last name. You heard it here, man.
Why is this man so funny?
Man,
This
she
man-
said, you said Ronnie Brand.
that's dope.
You know how strong
That's
that
a
is?
strong brand.
It's like, man, she's a brand expert
a
now. Her
strong
name
brand.
done turned from Ronnie Brown to Ronnie
Ronnie
Brand.
Brand. That's what we
I'm
want to
not
call
doing-
it.
I'm
Don't
not
try
doing
this at
that.
home, man.
So, all right. So, how did you go about building that personal brand like that?
Yeah, you know, I want to kind of just stress this. A lot is changing right now when it comes to like branding and
Right.
building a company. And I just feel like the shift is kind of happening. I remember when you can like start a company, you could have like started a company and you could just create that logo and kind of like hide behind the logo,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And no one cared like who you were.
Nobody, yeah.
You never had to show your face.
Right.
Like people were trying to figure out like who owns this company, but people were like buying into companies. Right now, I think the shift is it's happened
Right.
where people are buying into people. So I would say to anyone that is watching this or you watch this later,
Here comes
like,
the cheat code.
here's a cheat code. Like really focus on building your personal brand. Because when people love people, they love the things that people share. They love the things that people sell, and they love their brands, right? People are going to connect with you, right? I want to ask you all a question. How often do you go to the Nike Instagram and watch
That's it, yeah.
their behind the scenes of their stories?
That's what I'll be saying that all the time. They don't be out here
These big corporations,
doing reels and all that
No,
other type
they're
of stuff.
not. They're,
Yeah.
you're, but you as a consumer, you're not falling in love with the stories and the day to day of a brand. But you know what I realized when we first started this podcast? You
Right.
told me what I was doing this weekend. Like you were watching my stories.
Right.
You were seeing what I was doing. You knew that I was out
Yeah.
at the Broccoli City Fest. Shout out to Marcus and Brandon, right? But
Marcus and Brandon, we need to be at Broccoli City Fest next year. man.
The next
Whatever-
year, Broccoli City
whatever
Fest.
y'all did or do or whatever it is, we need to be
Listen,
there.
Yeah.
we already. We're gonna have a conversation. Stay tuned.
But you know, you knew what I was doing because
Yeah,
you were
facts.
watching my stories,
Right.
right? So that just goes to show you that people are buying into people. You want to see the day to day of someone's life more than you want to see the day to day of like a brand.
That's true. Damn, that's a fact. So now, here's my question personally, because this is the thing. And anybody who probably watches on social media, they probably know this, right? But content for me, like just thinking of, making stories, doing posts and things like that. It's an uphill battle for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For us personally, because it's like we're doing so much to stop and think about making content and stuff like that. It's contrary to, I don't know, my personality, something like that. What do
I think you're
recommend?
overthinking it. I think
so?
that a lot of people are so busy focusing on creating this perfect content. Content. And it's like, I don't create content. I just carry people along the journey with me.
Right. Just
And
curate.
yeah, I'm not like nothing. I'm not doing any scripted stuff.
Right.
Instead of focusing on
About to
content,
write that down.
I'm focusing on carrying you on the journey with me.
Right.
And when you focus on just carrying people on the journey, you don't have to do all this content.
You carrying us on your
Carry
journey.
us
Y'all
on the journey.
Hey, that's what I like to
Listen.
see, man.
Y'all on the journey
Execution.
with me today, man.
Implementation.
Execution
Listen.
and implementation, man.
Yeah.
Implementation.
Yeah, we
You heard it here first, man. Cheat Code Unlocked. Y'all on the journey with me, man, from here on out.
Let's
that's,
go.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Got
That's
you.
the
Look at how
content.
easy that was too, though.
Execution, man.
That's execution at its finest.
We overthink it.
Straight up and
real.
down.
People just want to see this.
Yeah.
That's all they
That's
truly want to
it.
see. They want to see. They want to go on the journey with you.
That's
a
We
fact.
think that it has to be high level,
Yeah.
perfect
Yeah, man.
cameras. Just
Yeah.
whip your phone out and
just-
show
just
people
start
what
shooting.
you're doing.
Just do it like Nike
Just
said.
do
Shoot
it.
and shoot.
Yeah,
Just start
Yeah.
shooting.
So, to anyone that's listening to this and you're in your head about like perfect content,
Right.
perfect, aesthetic, because
Right.
that's getting
Hold you
played
back.
out.
Right.
Like that's
Facts.
getting played
People
out.
wanna see the real.
People just want to see the real. We don't need any more fake shit. Like we
Right.
just want real people.
We
right
had
now.
enough fake shit.
a
We had
fact.
enough fake
Yeah.
shit.
Media. That's been media
That's
the
a
past
fact.
20, 30 years.
So if you're watching this or listening to this right now, make sure you take people on the journey with you. Share this with a friend. You know what I
Share
mean?
that
Put
with
this
For
like
sure, for
you go.
sure.
Yeah.
But if you're paying attention to what's happening on social media, you're going to see that the people that are really winning are the people who are just
being
being
authentic.
themselves.
being
Yeah,
themselves,
that's a
man.
fact.
It's no
authentic.
perfect pictures. It
Facts.
doesn't have to have the same, filter across the whole board. The aesthetic isn't a thing. They just showing up talking and people are resonating with them.
Right.
Yeah, so just basically just doing it. You know what I mean? Just actually
Doing
making
you.
an effort to do it.
For sure.
Yeah,
And building that relationship with your audience.
I
Right.
got you. And do you think that that as far as like I'm assuming that that's one component of building a personal brand,
For
right?
sure.
Because obviously social media is a big thing, major thing,
Huge
right?
thing
But
right
it's
now.
not the only thing as far as like building personal brand and brand reputation and things like that, and the opportunities that it affords you. So what else kind of goes into that pie of building a personal brand?
Consistency. I'm going to tap into like that is the most important thing.
Right.
Getting up every single day and connecting with your audience in some shape, form, or fashion. Whether you're posting on social, whether you're sending out a text message, whether you're rolling out an email blast, whether you're posting something on YouTube, you're putting something on TikTok, you should be connecting with your audience every single day. And I tell people like master that, like create a habit, like, okay, I'm going to do this every day for 6 months, or I'm going to do this every day for a year straight, right? Create a system where you are 100% dedicated to doing that. People always ask me, like, how did you grow your following to where it is today?
Right.
If you look on my page, I've put up over 10,000 pieces of content on my page.
Oh my God. They say once you do something 10,000 times, you become a master at it. Did you know that?
10,000?
Man, 10,000.
No, it's not 10,000, y'all.
I'm about to
But
say it better be
the
up to 10,000. God
consistency-
damn.
Yeah.
the consistency, what I always just stress is like people just disappear. It's like girls always talk about like how guys ghost them. It's like y'all ghost your audience. Like y'all ghost your followers.
Facts.
Like y'all ghost your customers.
That kind of hit home there.
Sorry, guys.
It hurts. Audience, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Oh, y'all in the pauses. We've been ghosting y'all so much. We've been running from y'all.
Hey, look, we've been working though.
We've
That's what
been
we
working,
doing.
OD. Listen, but we ain't got no excuses, man. We've been ghosting y'all in the
Yeah.
DMs.
Oh,
I
the
go to my
DMs.
DMs and I'm like 99 plus. Oh God, I gotta get out of here.
Yo, our fake pages get more.
Oh my
our
God,
fake pages be connected.
Fake pages getting more play. As a matter of fact, they're talking to our audience more than we talking to our audience.
I know that's not good,
Sheesh.
man. We gotta.
We
step
sorry,
it up.
man. We stepping
We
it up.
gotta
Like
step
Ronnie
it up.
said, we taking y'all on the journey.
Yeah, no more.
You know what I'm saying?
No more.
Y'all cannot be ghosting the people.
Nah, we can't.
Nah,
we
we not
we
gonna
gotta
do
do
that.
better.
Yeah,
And
y'all
for the
gotta do
DMV, we gotta step
Yeah,
our
we
game
no,
up.
we
gotta
definitely
step
stepped
it up.
up in the DM.
Y'all
Nah,
gotta step it
yeah,
up.
For
yeah.
sure. Nah,
We-
Because
got-
let me
coming.
say
We
that
listening.
people pay attention to
Yeah,
like
for
your
sure.
responsiveness, how present you are,
Right.
especially when you're selling like community or any type
Yeah,
of courses
right.
or financial literacy. Like people want to know that like after they buy it,
Right.
they still gonna have contact.
Oh
with
no,
you.
for
Most
sure.
I
definitely.
think that's a consumer's biggest fear right now.
See,
Yeah,
and this
no.
is the thing. And so
Yeah.
even for us with Chico, right? What we ended up doing was we built a team around
Yeah.
everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So our community is literally team based. Like,
Right. A big one.
My whole thing this whole time was, and I think I've been fighting it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't trying to be an influencer.
influencer.
You know what I'm saying? Quote unquote.
I always
It's
told
a
her-
thing.
Let's get into this.
It's
real
a
quick.
thing.
Let's
It's
Let's
a
get
thing.
into
Look,
it. Listen, Ronnie,
Let's
I
get
need
into
you.
this.
I'm gonna tell you.
Let's
Yes.
get into this. Like,
I didn't wanna do it.
let's peel back the
Let's
layers.
peel it back.
Okay.
All the layers.
This is
I'm
y'all.
going to
This is a session.
take
This
us-
is a therapy
Yeah,
session
take
right
us
now.
to the core. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if we're gonna
So-
post this one.
I need to get to the core of this
I
one.
meet so many entrepreneurs that are like, I don't want to be on the scene. Like, I want to
Yeah.
be behind the scenes of my business. Like, I
Right.
want to be chill. Like, I'm really not with all the attention
Right.
and all that type of stuff. But it's just like the people that you love, you admire, you've purchased their programs, their resources. Why did you do that? You did it because they were present. You
Right.
did it because they were visible. You did it because you felt like you had a relationship with them. You did it because you felt like you had a connection with them. So how do you expect to gain the level of trust in your audience that you had with those people that you were at one point in time looking up to?
Man.
Yeah, it's a fact.
There's no way I was
fact.
buying nothing from nobody that I didn't have like some sort of like, yo, I respect this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And let me
Yeah.
go a bit deeper.
Yeah.
A lot of you think that
Sheesh, here we
people
go.
are just straight buying your stuff because, you know, you're smart.
Right.
Right? At whatever you're doing. Like, oh, I'm an expert at this.
Mm-hmm.
But before people decide to make a purchase
Mm-hmm.
from you, before they decide to say, like, I'm going to buy this, most of the time they do it because there is something that resonates with them.
Yeah.
Like they see some sort of similarity.
Yeah.
So if you're not showing up personally or you're not sharing your story or giving them an opportunity to like get to know your story, then they're not going to find you relatable.
Yeah,
People-
and you know what? That's actually something that we've had
They
a
buy
big
from
problem
people
on
they relate with.
because we told our even with Chico, right? Like we told our story initially, like you know, on EYL,
that's-
you know, it was
yeah.
like we told our story, but like we telling our story consistently throughout like our socials and stuff like that has been an uphill battle. You know what I'm saying? It's like literally telling the story and like actually like putting it out there has been a thing. And
Yeah,
that's like
like-
the one thing that most people, when we meet people, they're like, yo, I connected with y'all story so much, da da da.
Yeah.
And it's
like
like
literally, like
yo.
you could tell, like people
Yeah.
are like, yo, I
Yeah.
connected with this guy, like, you know, your story touched me, like I've been through the same experiences, even like people
Yeah.
that have actually been through the same, they're like, yo, like the fact that you're able to break this adversity, that's something that I've been battling for X amount of time, and like me coming from Ghana, somebody's like, oh, yo, like you came from Ghana, like, yo, Africa,
Yeah.
man, like this
Exactly.
and that. It's like, that shit is real.
That's
If
a
you
fact.
come
For
from
sure.
Ghana and you're
Yeah.
telling your story, I can guarantee you that a large portion of your
Oh,
followers
yeah.
are going to be from Ghana.
Most definitely.
That's a fact.
I'm a
Like, I
mom,
can-
right?
Yeah.
I have so many moms that follow me.
Yeah.
Right?
Most definitely.
What is your thing? I'm sure that you're going to have a lot of people that
I'm a
resonate with that.
felon. I'm an ex-inmate. Inmate 57654.
But
Yeah,
No,
see,
no.
right here, right?
But
I know,
seriously,
I know.
I think
Just
that
connected
that
to
story,
somebody, yeah.
that story just shows
You'd be
that it's
surprised.
possible for other people. Like
So
the
many.
people with the worst stories, they win the most.
Yeah.
Like I come from the project.
Millions.
Ooh, that's
you know?
a bar. People with
Like
the most stories.
the worst stories win the most. Like
Yeah.
when you come from the bottom of the bottom, or you've gone through
Right.
like serious stuff,
Right.
and you've overcome those obstacles,
Right.
it's motivating as
You
hell.
were just
to
talking
other
about that
people.
on your stories the other day, matter of
Facts.
fact.
Period.
Speaking of which,
You know
she was
what's
just
crazy?
saying on your story.
What you just said too is just like it's so clear because you got to think about it. There's a 1% in society for a reason. The 99% are pretty much starting from the bottom up in some way, shape, or form. The people that are actually good, there's only a 1% demographic of those people. So you got to think about there's 7 billion people on this planet. That's really who we're connecting with. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah.
Like out of 7 billion, it's like 6 billion
Yeah.
people are coming from bottom up.
And as I'm saying all these things, I just want everyone that's listening to this to know that there are just so many moving parts.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a
Write
lot.
that
It's
list
a
down.
lot.
That was a list.
Promise you.
That's a lot.
That's a
even,
list.
That's not even the whole
That's not even the
list.
whole
Yeah.
That's not
list.
even the whole
Facts.
list.
My media team, you know, like there is a list, the graphic design team, the communication people that send out the emails, the people who run the ads. Like that's like 10 different
So
positions.
I gotta ask you this
Literally.
now. How do you? Because it's another whole thing of building a team. Building a team in and of itself is a
gift.
skill set.
For sure.
How do you find and put together the right team, the right
The
people?
most
you know what I
optimum
mean?
team. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be straight with y'all because this is like we doing no fluff today.
Yeah. Let's
you
go.
you go through people. Like you go through the trials of working with people, seeing if they're a good fit, realizing their strengths, realizing their weaknesses, and then you stick with the people who believe in the mission and believe in the vision. And it's just that simple. You know, we're collecting data right now when it comes to hiring all these different employees. We're like, okay, who works? Who's the person who's going to stay late? Who's the person who's going to come in early? Who's the person who's going to go the extra mile? Then you may have people they work with you and hey, what happens? It may not work out. Or they may decide that they want to do the same thing you're doing, right? Either way, you impacted their lives in a positive way.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're all just going through the process and
that's
seeing who's a good fit and who's not. And the way that we find these people, we find them a few different ways. You know, the best way that I like to find people is I love to work with people who have worked with me. Meaning people who have purchased my programs, who have invested in my coaching, because those are the people that have studied me enough and more than anyone. Right? That's the first thing. Another thing I like is personal referrals. Some of the best people that I've hired, I've been referred or they've been referred to me, shall I say, by someone that is like a friend of mine that has a successful business. And when I hire them, because they're already working for a friend of mine that is running a successful company, like they're good to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Like no funnies. I remember one of my good friends, she has a successful business. It's like, I mean, her business, she's killing it. And she referred an email marketer to me, someone who like writes copy, like real copy. Because let me just say, you will learn that there's a difference between a person who writes captions and a person who writes copy.
Copywriters. Yeah, not different.
Don't ever confuse a caption writer with a copywriter. Okay. But she was like, listen, you got to get someone that specializes in email, copy,
And automations.
but one that converts.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I invested in this guy that she referred to me. And within, the first month, we made 5 figures in emails. Just emails.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. I guess that stuff I was doing on like MailChimp myself, that wasn't this.
Yeah. That ain't it.
It
Take it
hits
to a next
different.
level.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it hits different. So those personal referrals, like if you're looking for employees, ask people like, who are you using? We were talking earlier before we started the camera. I'm gonna get that number from
Oh, I
you.
know. That's what I was thinking
yeah.
all the time.
That's a fact.
Because he was like, yeah, I got somebody that does X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, run me that number. Let me get
Facts.
that. Don't be afraid to ask people for those referrals, even when it comes to like employees, for sure.
No, that's
Most
real.
definitely.
I always tell people all the time that, like, especially building a company, you're only as good as the team that you build. Right?
For sure.
If you have the best email marketer, you have the best web developer, you have the best, whatever it may be, you're gonna have the best company on the block, right? Because the team that you invested in is the best, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to trying to, build a team from scratch that is all, beginners at it, and then everybody trying to move together, you're gonna have inefficiencies, and the product quality isn't gonna be there, or the business quality ain't gonna be there, right? So that's definitely, I think, a key component for anybody out there who's building a business or even investing or trading, anything like that, whatever it may be you're doing. Have the best team around you, the best people around you.
Yeah,
You see
and
good
there's
fathers.
even to that too. There's stages at which these people even come, because like in some stages in your business, you may need to have those beginners, like just because you're not in the position to be able to afford maybe experts in the space.
Yeah.
So you just may need some people to get started, and sometimes you may need to get resources, like go to a Fiverr or an Upwork, which is a platforms for freelancers to go to that you can get people at different levels, beginner, intermediate, expert, just so you can afford these type of different people based on wherever you are financially or even mentally or at the business level that you're operating.
Yeah,
And don't be afraid to go overseas neither.
Yeah, and I will also say just know how much each employee is even making your company.
Right.
Yeah, ROE.
Because a lot of times we're hiring people that aren't making us money, and we don't need those people right now.
Yeah.
Because our companies aren't even at that
Yeah.
level yet. So
Yeah.
we need to really pay attention to, okay, if I'm paying this person this amount of money, how much money are they making my company? And what I will say is, I know right now the person who is like the most valuable person, it's three people that are probably like the most valuable right now. It's going to be your lawyer. It's going to be your accountant, your bookkeeper, because my accountant is my bookkeeper. And there's going to be your media team.
Media team is critical.
Yeah. Get that story out
100%.
Yeah.
Now, when you say media team, you talking social media? You talking
I'm
PR,
talking about whoever's
everything?
shooting your content. Content creation is a game changer right now.
Yeah.
That's fact.
It's not to be played with.
It's the space of
They're gonna make you the most
Information
money through
consumption.
visibility.
That's a fact.
Right.
That's a fact. Because everything right now is really, content,
Getting in front of
attention,
people.
audience.
Yeah. We're in a place where you don't really even have to have a lot of information. If you just showing up every day, somebody gonna watch it.
That's a fact.
Oh
On
man.
anything,
Yeah.
too. People out there doing all types of stuff.
Now
Listen,
TV
the class
TV is
clowns are
obsolete.
winning right now.
Yes.
Right. Literally. TV is
Seriously.
obsolete. Right. Like
People aren't watching
all
TV
that.
anymore.
Nobody's watching that anymore. Like I don't remember the last time I watched a TV channel, like
I
a
have
regular
not watched
cable.
TV in over 10 years.
Yeah, just think about that. So it's like, who are we watching? That's got to be coming from somewhere.
We're
You know
watching
what I'm
other
saying?
people.
Other people.
They're
Real.
watching you.
Yeah.
They
real.
trying to watch you,
Right.
right? They watching me.
Most
They're
definitely.
on the
She
side.
said they trying to.
We
trying to-
gonna get him on after tonight. Like he's gonna be ready after tonight.
Man,
we
listen,
on
y'all
it.
don't awaken the beast now. Y'all
Yeah.
awaken the beast.
Yeah.
You
Nah,
know?
definitely.
All right, man. Ronnie. Okay. Ronnie. You really threw me for a loop this interview. This is not how I expected it to go, but it's good. I got a whole masterclass therapy session in this joint.
Everything, all in
We
one,
gotta
man.
charge out for this one, man. Y'all
Nah,
got-
yeah.
This might be.
I got a question though.
content.
What's been your biggest failure? Like I'd like to always learn from people's failures.
My biggest
Yeah.
failure is not. My biggest failure has been not firing people sooner.
Ooh.
Ronnie, how do you do it? Jesus Christ, are you a
Hitting
psychologist?
every freaking
Seriously.
point. We literally just went through that ourselves. So
Yeah,
we
like
feel you.
deleveraging.
It was the biggest mistake and my biggest failure has been realizing that people were not a good fit
Yeah.
and keeping them on because I was too emotionally connected to their personal things, but I knew they weren't right for my company. I was too like friendly.
Yeah.
I didn't have boundaries in place.
Right.
And it cost me. It cost me. So letting people go earlier, oh my gosh. Please do it. It's like a cancer in your company. And it begins to just move through your business. It's like cancer.
Yeah. And then they be having bad attitudes. You paying them, they not doing the right job, and then they got bad attitudes throughout the whole process. It's like
Because
crazy.
the boundaries, normally when we have like entitlement issues, and I've had entitlement issues with employees, it's because it was my fault. I let them get too comfortable with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did not carry myself like a founder. I didn't carry myself like an owner. I was too loose.
carrying like almost like a friend.
Yeah.
Everybody becomes friends. And you're like, oh yeah, it's our family, but everybody.
Yeah,
too friendly.
man. But it's like at the end of the
Same
day,
thing.
somebody is paying and
Listen,
somebody, you know, it's a different dynamic, you know.
We our payroll was almost $200,000 a month, you know, a few months ago. 200
Ridiculous.
grand. And none of those pitches, when we really looked at it, you know, really, you know, assessed our situation, we're like, yo, you know, most of these positions, like you said, aren't actually making us any money, first off. Second off, they're not
Correct.
actually doing their jobs, right? And then third off, we didn't implement the proper management hierarchy, right? Where it was like, okay, it was us, operations manager, and then 26 people, right?
You don't need 26 people within your first 5 years of business.
Exactly.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
we realized
You probably needed about 9.
yeah, well,
That's
yeah. So one part of our company is, you know, is infrastructure for like the, you know, like I said, the educational part. We have a lot of different programs and stuff like that. That part, yeah. But the operational side of our company, like as far as like, you know, everything else that we do, 100%.
I had a friend tell me the other day, like, if your company isn't making at least 25 million, then you don't even call yourself a CEO. Like you're a founder.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't need that many
That's-
people.
Yeah,
Sounds
that's
about
a fact.
accurate.
And so,
Yeah.
we had to
And
cut
I was
a
like,
lot.
whoa, when I heard that, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm a founder.
Yeah. Hey, you got it.
Yeah. It
I'm
humbled
a
me.
founder. Yeah, nah, that's a fact.
Yeah, we went
There's
crazy. And we
levels
realized
to
that
it.
was like, yo, man, this is just not it. And
Scaling
then
too
on top of that,
fast.
you know, people just not like these months and months go by. One simple job that was supposed to happen
Oh man.
doesn't happen for months. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And then what's
Because
crazy,
everyone's chilling, everyone's cool with you.
it's chilling. Yeah, everything's
man.
cool. Everybody's cool. And then what's the even crazier part is you look at, you know, outsourcing to a company, right? And the
Agency,
company be like, hey, you know, this is gonna run you 20 grand a month.
The agencies
And
will
then you
rob
like-
you too.
Oh yeah, no, trust me.
Yeah.
We just had that
We-
conversation this morning.
Morning.
Just let me know
Morning.
this morning. But you'll have a company that'll say, hey, we can do this for 20 grand, right? And you'll be like, no, that's too expensive, this, that, and third, right? And then you go out and you try to build a team around it. And
By
they're
the time
spending
you
30
hire
Oh
10
my
people,
God.
yeah,
Oh
you should
my
have just
God.
hired the agency yeah,
Exactly.
for sure.
You spend 30 grand and then that team, they not even executing the way that they need it. So you end up spending, and worst part about it is not even the money, it's the wasted time.
Time.
Because
Yeah.
now
You
you
can't get
6
back.
months down the line, you got look, we
Behind
do our
schedule.
Development team.
Development,
We hired 6
it's the-
developers.
oh my
We're
God.
building a you know app. We're like, you got a quote to build the app. It was like, you know, XYZ. We're like, yo, man, we can do that. All right, just sales.
Yeah.
We'll guide it through the process. 6 developers, 100K each. Boom, boom, boom. Whatever type of salary. And going through the process, then we get 3 months down the line.
Oh,
not
man.
even through our first 2 weeks worth of work. And it's like, what the hell are we doing, right? Had
We
to
just
let them
spend
go,
it,
scrap
yeah.
the entire project, then go back and get an agency. Now we 6 months more down the line
Yeah.
before we finally got a working product.
A referral would have saved you that.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
100%.
that's the thing.
100%.
Yeah, you don't repeat the same mistakes.
Yeah.
Learn from people's mistakes and just expedite that. That's
They
really a
say
cheat code for
fool
sure.
learns from the mistakes of others. No, a fool learns from his own mistakes,
And a wise-
and a wise man
Learns
learns
from
from
the
the mistakes of others.
Y'all learn from our mistakes because we the fools.
We are the fools. We
We the
done
fools.
did a
We
lot
did
of
it all.
foolish things.
I
done
think
did
we
it
all
all.
do it.
We
We
done
all
did it
Yeah.
all. That's a fact.
Yeah.
It's part of the journey, I think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's part of the entrepreneur.
It doesn't have to be part of yours though. That's the
Yeah.
crazy thing. If you're watching this, you know, we already made the mistakes. This is something that people pay, you know, 6 figures for is consultation.
This
Big
something they pay
businesses.
Ronnie 6 figures
Ronnie-
for. Shoot.
Yeah, you bet.
Oh, I don't know how much. You know, they think
know what I'm
so.
saying? This
sure
podcast
they,
is
they
something.
should be paying.
This
They ain't
podcast
paying
is
6
some-
figures. They
Hey.
need to be.
You know, we'll plug you in later, man. You can see Ronnie on the download. you know
check
what
the
I'm saying?
show notes,
Yeah.
guys.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
No,
But yeah, man.
All right, well, look,
That's massive.
I think that you know, you got a lot of value. You know what I'm saying? A lot of wisdom, a lot of insight. This is definitely insightful, and I'm sure everybody else listening to it got a lot of value out of it as well. Not going to be our only episode, which I definitely want to run it back.
Most definitely.
You know, later on, right?
Hit me up, y'all.
You
Yeah.
100%. You know, we right here in the city, in the hometown. You know,
Yeah,
So,
man,
so
you
y'all
just a
staying
few
down
minutes
with the
away.
hometown now?
Huh?
Y'all staying down with the hometown now?
Yeah,
Okay,
we about
okay.
to DMV like all the way. We about to build
Okay, got
DMV
it.
like no other.
100%.
So y'all gonna be here now?
Yeah.
100%. Hey,
Yeah.
when we home, and we about to,
Yeah.
you know.
Now we
Cause
really
y'all
about to
wasn't showing
like.
the DMV no love. I was feeling a little way.
Yeah,
that's
nah,
a
I feel
fact.
it, man.
That's
And
a
you know what? I don't even blame you because we literally had to sit down and be like, yo, what are we even
What are y'all
doing?
doing?
Our own hometown, we ain't even like.
But you
We
know
gonna
what?
make
Though?
nothing.
It's like this though. At the same time, you know, when you look at the space out there, you know, in our space,
Mm-hmm.
you know, most of the people in our space are in Atlanta,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
LA,
right. LA.
Yeah.
New York, right? And there's there's only a
Seattle.
small group of
Yeah.
Well, Seattle. Who else in Seattle?
A lot of technology is happening.
Oh,
there.
yeah, that's true. That's a fact.
Seattle, that's a fact. Yeah, so it's like, we like, damn, I didn't even realize, who was in it was a while before we're like, yo, who's in
Who's
DC?
in the DMV?
And then it was like,
Yeah.
then we started talking to people. They're like, yo, Ronnie's in DC, Ronnie Brown. I didn't
Yeah.
even know. You know
Thank
what I'm
y'all.
saying?
Thank whoever's like Ronnie Brown.
Yeah,
I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
Definitely.
people that speak your names. in
When
the
you're
room.
not in those
That's not
rooms,
it.
Yes.
that's
Yeah,
important, man.
For
That's
sure.
a valuable
That's a
thing.
fact.
You
For
want your
sure.
names to be talked about in the rooms that you're not present.
I
Definitely
appreciate
fact.
that.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure. So I'm glad we did this for sure. But y'all make sure y'all tap in with Ronnie Brown. I'm sure everybody know where to find that. But for those who don't, Ronnie, where can they find you?
Make sure you all come and check me out on Instagram at Ronne Brown. It's RONNE Brown.
Yeah, not
There's
brand.
no I
now.
in my name.
Not
All
brand.
right. And yeah, come on over. Instagram. My website is www.rehabmybrand.com.
That's dope.
Go get you one of them 10,000 pieces of content on the
Yeah, nah, definitely.
Go through
That thing's an
every one of
NFT.
them- Go through every one of them 10,000 pieces, man.
Yeah,
Listen.
for sure.
All
All
right,
gems, man.
Look, appreciate you, Ronnie, again. Y'all over here on Cheat Code Unlocked. Y'all already know what time it is. Make sure y'all, pay attention to all the cheat codes that was in here. Drop the cheat codes in the comments that y'all know that y'all heard in this episode. And as always, make sure you what?
Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a motherfucking friend.
Let's go, man. See y'all later.